DJ Erica. So I wanted to know, like, how did you start up, like, knowing that you wanted to become a singer and a performer? Did it start at an early age?
A very early age, yes. My parents were very instrumental in who I became as a singer. My mom would play music in the house. My dad would play music in the house when they were still together. And even after my dad left, when I was about 5 years old, they separated. My father always had music playing. It was always my dad's at home with my mom. It was always music in the house all the time. So my dad is the one who actually discovered that I actually had some kind of voice, some kind of talent at 2 years old. Riding with him in the car, he heard me singing, harmonizing with the Beatles, and he was singing too. So I was harmonizing with him. And my mom was like, yeah, okay, she's 2 years old, not even. We're still teaching her how to talk, and you're telling me that she can actually sing at 2? And she's singing in French? Like, no. She wouldn't have it. And my dad was like, he played the song for her, Michelle My Belle, and she was like, what? Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they heard my talent very early on. But my mom, over the years, because we lived predominantly with her, my mom would play any female artist that was out at the time. She would just buy a female's album. I remember her bringing home the Brenda Russell album. And I was learning that. Patrice Rushen, Shaka Khan. Oh, my gosh. Any female, like I said, she would play it. And then I would learn it. Minnie Riperton. And this was early on. So I knew that I had talent back then. And then she just started to cultivate that and get me involved. And so, like, I joined the choir at church. I could join the choir in school, I should say. At that time, I wasn't in high school yet. But she just kept music going in the house, and I kept singing with it. So I just was determined to be a star. I wanted to be a star. That was all I kept saying back then. I want to be a star. I want to buy my mom a mansion. I want to buy my mom a fur coat. It was always that. Always that. So music was in my blood very early. My mom said that when she was carrying me, she would also sing girl group songs, music that was out at the time, any music. So music has been in my blood literally since conception.
That is amazing. And did you sing in the church and everything too? I did. Yeah, I did. I sure did. I sang in the church. I wasn't a outgoing do solos type of artist, because I was just one of the choir. I was too shy in my personality to step out and say, hey, this is what I do. Move aside, step aside, y'all. I was too nervous to do that, too shy. And I did have a couple of solos, but it wasn't like I wanted to be up there. I was like, I could barely sing. My knees were wobbling. I was shaking. So it wasn't like I was this boisterous. I look at myself now and I'm thinking how much I have grown to see myself on stage today compared to who I was as a young, upcoming singer and a young girl and all that, teenager. I was not the one. You could not make me. No. So what was it that made you like break out of that shell? Like you'd be like, okay, I can do this. I can sing. I
kind of had to. There's a woman in the Oakland Bay Area named Brenda Vaughn. And anybody in the Bay Area knows who she is. Any singer knows who Brenda Vaughn is. Like, she's a well-known singer in the Bay Area. Maxine has sung background with her. I sing background with her. Any singer from the Bay Area has sung with Brenda Vaughn. And Brenda, I remember, I don't even know how I met her, but someone introduced me to her and my mom. And I was only 16 years old, but she's like, well, I want you to do this show with me. And I was like, okay, but I didn't have any clothes. So she allowed me to wear one of her dresses. It was way too big for me. You're talking about this skinny little 16-year-old. So I did the show with her. But in rehearsals, she was like, you can't act scared. You got to get out here and do this. You got to, go all the way down to the floor and come back up. You know what I mean? It was like that. She was teaching me stage presence very early on. I thank her for that. I thank her to this day. But Brenda Vaughn was a part of Maxine said that too. She's like, Brenda Vaughn would like go, how low can you go? And you got on high heels, so you got to go down to the floor and then get back up and act like it didn't bother you.
Wow.
Yeah, she would teach us that kind of stuff. So I learned a lot of stage presence with her, but I was still really shy when I got into Envogue, and you have to step out. You get on these stages and arenas and coliseums. What are you going to do? Act like, hold on to your love. You got to get out there and sing. So I don't know. I know that I would say doing the audition for Envogue, I was scared to death, Erica, scared to life, almost death. My heart was going to stop, okay? Oh, wow. I did not want to be there. My sister was like, she took me, so she was like, no, we've been here all day long. You're going to do this audition. I'm pregnant. I'm hungry. You're going to do this. So luckily for her being there, she pushed me because she was like, she knew what I was capable of, even if I wasn't so sure myself. And I went in the booth. I did not want to sing at all. I kept asking her, like I said, to take me home all day long. So here I am. I'm in the booth. I'm standing with a partition in front of me, and I had to show and prove right then. What are you going to do? Like, this is my moment. And I think we had 3 tries. Maxine says she doesn't remember that, but I thought we had 3 tries. And the first time I bombed completely. Oh my God, terrible. I want to go home for sure. They're going to tell me to go home. It was that bad. And the second time he was like, okay, you ready? You just close your eyes. Just like, don't worry about it. Take a deep breath. This was Denny, our producer. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm bombing here. I'm just completely bombing the whole thing. And I tried it again, and it was better than the first, but still not as good as I wanted. And on the third one, he said, Denny said, oh, that was better. But I think you got one more in you. I was like, oh, Jesus, please help me, God. Please help me. So we had just learned the song that day. You know what I mean? I couldn't close my eyes and feel the song because I didn't know it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like I was singing a Natalie Cole song or a Shaka Khan song. You know what I mean? Something that I already knew. So I was kind of winging it as I went along. And he said, your sister wants to come in there. Are you kidding me? Like, no, she's not. Oh my God, here she comes. So my sister came in the room, in the booth with me, and she said, Dawn. And she closed the door behind her, and she said, because it was sliding glass doors, and she said, Dawn, you are so much better than this. I don't know why you keep flubbing this. You're like destroying your chances and blah, blah, blah. And you're better than this. I was like, Dana, I got this. Get out. And she's like, no. I'm telling you, if you don't do this right, I'm telling Mom, because this isn't cool, and you know better, and you're better. I was like, oh my God, would you get out of it? I was mortified, Erica, completely mortified. I was like, my sister is younger than me. Even though she's pregnant, she's still my little sister, and I am like, I was just like, so embarrassed because I knew that they could hear me over the loudspeaker. There were speakers in the studio. Mm-hmm. OMG. Okay, Dana, I got it. Get out. She's like, okay, but I'm just going to say this one last thing. What do you want? She said, put the lyrics to the side. I was like, Dana, I can't make up lyrics. I mean, I just learned the song today. We all just learned the song today. She said, I know, but you got to put the lyrics on the side. And right then our producer said, yeah, Dawn, Dana's right. I was like, oh my God. He said, your sister's right. And the reason that I said, oh my God, is because he could hear me. He could hear us arguing. And I was just so completely embarrassed. So he said, your sister's absolutely right. Put the lyrics aside. Make up whatever you want. I'm not going to hold that against you. Just make up whatever you want. Because, we had already done the background to that song that day. And it's a song called Waiting on You on our first album, Born to Sing. So we had already put the background vocals on there, and I can't just make up anything like the trees are blowing in the wind. It's a sunny, happy day. Like, come on, I got to sing about what the lyrics are about in the chorus. I can't keep wasting my time waiting on, you know what I mean? I got to sing to that, and I got to make sense to what the background vocals are saying. Mm-hmm. He told me to put the lyrics on the side. What? So I did it. And he said, okay, are you ready? And I said, I think so. And the music started. It's 10 o'clock and I'm still. And I remember that part because that was written down. And I just looked at it. Waiting by the phone. Shoo-ba-doo, shoo-ba-doo. Our background parts and all that. And I was like, oh my God. won't be back again. I'm feeling so intense. Oh, baby. And I just winged it. You know what I mean? And I just kept going. Yeah, thank you so much. But I think what happens in your life on the occasion that there's a job that you really want, or it's a moment of truth. Mm-hmm. It's that eye of the tiger. That's what I had that moment. You know what I mean? It was like now or never. If I blow this whole thing, I'm never going to forgive myself. I don't know what to tell my mom when I get home. I mean, she's going to be like, okay with anything. You know, it's all right. You didn't make it, but maybe the next time, you know, she would have been like that. But still, I knew my sister was right. This is my moment. It wasn't very often that we even heard about, I didn't hear about him anyway, auditions in the Bay Area. So I was like, okay, this is now or never. I have to make this happen. There's no, oh, you know, come back tomorrow and try it again. Or, well, we'll have, you know, auditions next week. He can come back then. No, this is right now. So I think that's what it was as well. And I know that I prayed just before starting that third one. I was just like, Father, you know, be with me and guide my vocals. And I took that deep breath and that was it. So I know that when you ask God for something in the moment, it'll come to you if you have faith that it will as well. I had to have faith because there was no option for me right then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These other women are in here, and Maxine had gone first. And DJ Erica.